My name is Bryan Johnson. I am a professional rejuvenation athlete. I left my mother's womb 45 years ago, and I'm biologically aged hundreds of different numbers. I eat exactly 1,977 calories a day. I eat over 70 pounds of vegetables a month. I have spent millions of dollars creating the Blueprint protocol, and I share all of it for free so anybody can implement it. My objective here is to prove that we can dramatically slow the speed of aging and even reverse it.
We have so much to talk about. You have had a busy 2 years, and as you mentioned in the video, first off, thank you for being with us today. You founded Braintree, sold it for a ton of money, and now you are spending a lot of money trying to figure out how to be 18 in full body and mind. Take us from that moment to now. When you left Braintree's exit, you came out self-described as depressed, overweight, and borderline suicidal. How did you go through this mental transformation and full body transformation?
Yeah, I think the key innovation for Blueprint is that previously my mind was in charge of me. It would decide what I wanted to eat. I could decide what I wanted to eat from a menu or go to the grocery store and shop. And it wasn't a reliable form of authority. My mind was always a rascal and doing things that was self-destructive in nature. I flipped it and I said, I'm going to put my body in charge of me, my liver and my heart and lungs and pancreas. I'm going to inquire what they think and give them decision authority to manage me. And so I think that the most important thing that Blueprint has accomplished is we built an algorithm that takes better care of me than I can myself.
And one of the things you reference is this evening Bryan character who would be really hungry late at night, make really bad decisions, and you just one day were like, enough evening Bryan, I'm gonna master you, I'm gonna have this routine. So take me through your day in the life of being Bryan Johnson. From the moment you wake up, what do you eat? Show me everything.
It's about 100 or so protocols at any given day that I complete. So I wake up around 5 or 6 in the morning. Really, the day begins when I go to bed at 8:30 the night before. I've structured my entire life around sleep. There's nothing I do in my life that influences my conscious existence more than my sleep. And so everything is built around that. But then in the morning, I'll wake up, do a few therapies. I'll take 100 pills, 61 pills, work out for an hour. I eat some vegetables for breakfast, 70 pounds per month. Then I'll get to work and I'll do some protocol in the afternoon. But my entire life is basically structured with, we've referenced over 2,000 scientific publications and over 100 protocols. It's entirely based upon evidence and data.
Is it fun? It doesn't look fun. Doesn't sound fun. I don't think I could do it. Definitely could not do it. Can you travel? Do you get a cheat day? Any of that?
Yeah, it's funny. When people look at Blueprint, their immediate reactions, like I've had this conversation so many times now. I know almost with 99% accuracy what people are going to say. And it's typically the same things every time. And excuse me, and everyone assumes I'm miserable. They assume that this must be some sort of prison. They come up with a line of like, if you're going to get hit by a bus, lol. So it's like all these same things again and again. And I would say this, I have never in my entire life been happier, more fulfilled, or had a more expanded consciousness. I pity the previous version of me that was on this roller coaster searching for his next hit all the time.
So your doctor, Dr. Zolman, is 29 years old, studied Cambridge. How did you pick him, and how are you guys deciding what to try, what to do next?
I guess maybe it's worth reflecting that if you were to take 5 anti-aging scientists and give them the same papers and then ask them to design you a anti-aging protocol, you would get 5 different protocols. And that's just the state of where the science is. And so we said, health and wellness is a lot like religion currently, where the King James version of the Bible supports 100 denominations that all claim they're God's one and true. And so the same thing is true with health and wellness with charismatic leaders claiming they're certain thing. And we said, we're going to punch through the noise. We're going to look at data only. And that's when we started trying to measure every organ in my body, publishing the data publicly, and going forward to the scientific protocol. And so what we're trying to do is, I say tongue-in-cheek, Blueprint is the best health protocol developed in history. Prove me wrong with your data.
I mean, some of health and longevity cannot be measured with data. I mean, you know this, right? Like stress, health of our relationships, that all has an impact on our genetics even. How are you taking into account the things that you cannot measure?
I mean, we can measure some pretty amazing things, from gravitational waves to metabolic processes. And I would say I don't know if there's many things about the human condition that we cannot measure, including our relationships, including stress responses and epigenetics and gene expression. So I'd say that measurement is really the thing that is, I think, most revolutionary about Blueprint. Is if I love history, I love reading biographies, and I look back through time, I really admire people who in their time and place were able to see and do something impossibly hard, something invisible. And if we were to say, what is that moment right now? I'd say throughout history, the human mind has been the best technology in existence to achieve objectives. That just changed. Artificial intelligence is now the superior technology, emergent technology in achieving these objectives. And so if we are wise as a species, we will decide where our storytelling minds excel and where these other algorithmic data approaches are going to excel. And what I'm suggesting here with Blueprint is, as it relates to my health and wellness, an algorithm is better at doing that than I can.
I mean, what is the deal with Project Blueprint? Are you monetizing this? Is this a business for you? I mean, there's a lot. You have a rabid Twitter following, I would say, and just following in general, and they're eating up what you're saying and what you're selling. So that comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, the objective of Blueprint was to, I thought about this for a decade. I really started this when I was 21 years old. I said, I want to spend my life trying to do something useful for the human race. And I went out to try to make money to enable myself from doing this. And after thinking about this for all this time, it was in 2023, what is the most sober assessment we could muster? And I'd say there's 4 things. Don't die, don't kill each other, don't destroy the planet, and don't underestimate aligning with AI. That is the only thing on our to-do list. Nothing else matters. After 13 billion years in the universe and 4 billion years on evolutionary history on the planet, we are steps away from superintelligence. And I want to take it to this future.
How does AI relate to this? Like when you talk about superintelligence and AI and your mission, how do you see that all playing hand in hand?
Yeah, this is what I call zeroth principle thinking. We are accustomed to first principle thinking, where you assume the fewest number of things in a certain time frame. Zeroth principle thinking is thinking from another dimension. So another way of saying it, talent hits the target no one else can. Genius hits the target no one else can see. When AI has been applied to human problems, whether it be the game Go or whether it be protein folding, it has been able to introduce genius level advancement. As we apply AI to every domain of society, we're going to see a number of zeroth principle like ideas at a rate faster than we ever had before. And it's going to bend our reality, just like special relativity did and germ theory did. These ideas, zeros typically came along once every couple centuries, and now they're going to start landing at a much faster pace.
So let's talk about the results. Is this actually working? It seems to me like some people have achieved better results doing much less. We recently interviewed a Harvard professor who said he cut his biological age by 10 years by cutting alcohol and exercising. So your own doctor has also told Bloomberg, we haven't achieved any remarkable results, and what you're seeing is to be expected.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about Blueprint is the extensiveness of the measurement. So if you're looking, I'll give you a few markers that are interesting. One, we've slowed my speed of aging by the equivalent of 31 years. So that means I now accumulate aging damage slower than the average 10-year-old. That's how fast damage in my body's accumulating. I have a VO2 max, my body's ability to use oxygen, on the top 1.5% of 18-year-olds. And so if you look at 50 perfect clinical biomarkers, and I have dozens of these measurements, so no matter what you look at, the data all says the same thing. I'm in pretty good health. And so when someone makes a comment about if they reduced their health by blank by doing blank, they're looking at one marker. What you have with me is you've got thousands of markers that use MRI and ultrasound and blood and stool and saliva and devices and fitness tests. I'm the most measured person in human history. And so when you can take any one marker and discount it or emphasize it, but you take it as the entirety, it's a pretty interesting story to say, can you do something today to meaningfully change the speed someone's aging? I think the answer is yes. I think we've proved that.
So, Bryan, do you view this as a selfless act for humanity? Where does it go too far? I think a lot of people looked at the multi-generational blood plasma transfusion you did with your father and your son as a, what the I'm sorry to say that like that, but I mean, you took your minor child and had him give you his own blood for no real results, as you said recently on Twitter. So, that's not too far?
It's really funny. You and I live in a previous generation's crazy, and every generation falls for the same trap. We create these boundary conditions, and we label things as normal, and we label other things as crazy, and we try to create these sacred spaces where things can't be touched, but it's a trap in time and place. And so it's really, when we use these words to try to label certain things, we're just showing a mirror to ourselves of what status quo is. And society has never thrived on status quo. It's always gone forward, blazing new trails. And if this triggers a non-normal, so be it. But that's the entirety of this project. And the human race is not going to move forward comfortably sitting in status quo. We all know this. We revere people in history who broke that.
But it's one thing for you to decide to be a guinea pig for yourself for science, but to bring other people into it. I mean, did Talmaj's mom have an opinion on the blood transfusion?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about social and moral ethics about this thing, this started, my father, who's 70 years old, started reporting to me his cognitive decline. And he's a lawyer. He would do anything to keep his mental acuity. And so we put him on Blueprint. He came back and said, Bryan, I have to tell you, when you start losing your mind, you don't know. Like when it comes back, that you become aware of what you've lost. And so I said, Dad, I'll do anything to help you keep your mind. Like, I understand you're losing your existence. And in that moment, I said, if these plasma infusions are potentially a helpful thing for you, I'd be more than willing to do it. And my son overheard my father and talking. He's like, Dad, I'll do it too. I'm in. He's fully on Blueprint. He's been on Blueprint for multiple years. His friends are on Blueprint. They get it. They want it. People presuppose so many things about Blueprint. They assume so many things without catching themselves, that these are ideas they have in their mind and zero knowledge of anything going on inside my world. And so it's a good reminder that we have these default thought processes, but they really paint a picture that's different than reality.
So what's your end goal here, and will you ever stop? Is this going to be the rest of your life, or being surrounded by 30 doctors, $2 million spent a year, achieving the body of an 18-year-old in all ways? Or do you at some point plan to go off into the sunset and eat a burger?
I mean, no, I don't desire cheat days. This is the thing. Everyone presupposes too that I somehow desire a pizza or donut. I don't. It makes me sick to think about it. But I'd say if this is a question of what is the meaning of life? Is the meaning of life to cheat and get these cheap thrills of donuts? To me, lucky us, we exist. Everything we do on top of that is a benefit. And this is why I go back on the humanity's to-do list. Don't die, don't kill each other, don't destroy the earth, and align with AI. We have a specific set of objectives to achieve right now. And if we squander this opportunity, it could be, we have the potential of existing in the most extraordinary existence in the history of the galaxy, potentially. If we sober up and see this moment for what it is, we may behave very differently.
Bryan, thank you so much for sharing your plan with us, your insights with us. We appreciate your time here today. Thank you.